All right, so let's get started. As I mentioned a moment ago, we're going to be covering researching the history of immigration and forced migration. Within HeinOnline, we're going to be talking about all the databases or many of the databases within HeinOnline, but we're specifically going to be focusing on a couple of the databases that we offer. One of them being our immigration law and policy, and then the other one is our social justice suite. And we'll talk about those a little bit more in depth. Then we're going to jump into some of the search features that HeinOnline has and show you how you can use those to, do some searching on forced migration and some of the different factors that are causing forced migration, both historically and in the modern age. So just talk about your HeinOnline experts very quickly. There I am in the middle. My name is Tim Hoagie. I am the Senior Director of Sales for HeinOnline. To my left is Steve Roses, who is joining us today. He's the Director of Sales. And then to my right in this slide is Roxanne Marmion, one of our sales professionals, who also does these webinars. And you may have seen Roxanne in a previous month or during other presentations. So we're going to be talking, giving you a brief introduction of HeinOnline. We'll be talking about, in a more deep way, like I mentioned, immigration law and policy, as well as HeinOnline social justice suite. And then we will have time for questions and answers. But again, I recommend that you go ahead and ask any questions you may have throughout the presentation. Steve's going to be monitoring those questions, and he'll be answering them as we go along. So HeinOnline's immigration law and policy in the U.S., it's more than 4,000 titles, and we have 1.5 million pages of content. It's a comprehensive database of historical and current documents. It's got acts and legislative histories, works from the Board of Immigration Appeals, their precedent decisions, government reports, works on extradition, some federal government regulations, and much more. We're currently offering a 15% discount off the first year subscription, and that will last until April 30th. Our social justice suite, I'll show you how you can go about registering for that in just a moment. The suite is actually comprised of 5 databases. It began with our Slavery in America and the World, which is actually an award-winning database. It's got over 2,200 titles and 1.2 million pages of content. And since we first created that database, we have expanded this suite to include gun regulations and legislation in America. It's a very hot topic right now, both here within the States and around the world. Civil rights and social justice, which talks about the history of civil rights and social justice, how it has grown and expanded over the past several decades. The Open Society Justice Initiatives, the Open Society Justice Initiative specifically focuses on social justice litigation and immigration litigation. So that's a very interesting topic and covers a broad scope of material there. And of course, our LGBTQ plus rights database, which we introduced just about less than a year ago at this point. So it's an all-encompassing database covering social justice. It's completely free, and I'll show you in just a moment how you can go about registering for that for your institution, for yourself individually. Anyone can access this database. So as we're finishing up and I'll show you some of the supporting documents that we have within HeinOnline. Of course, we have LibGuides. They help you to navigate and search across all the different databases that we'll be talking about today, as well as all the databases that we have within HeinOnline. They have tips, tricks, related resources, links out to our blog, which are often related to the different databases that we're talking about within these presentations. So I definitely recommend that you take a look at our LibGuides. They're very easy to use. They're completely free, and we offer you to go ahead and use the material that we have in our LibGuides. If you're looking to create your own LibGuide or your own resource tools, take it from us. We wrote it for you to use, so please feel free to use that. So if you are not yet a subscriber, of course, we always offer free trials to institutions. They range up to 6 months. We offer IP and proxy authentication, many different databases within our core collections. We have live chat and phone support, which I will be showing you momentarily. And then, of course, these free training resources. If you need to get in contact with us, you can always contact us at marketing@wshein.com, our phone number, as well as our website. And then finally, of course, please follow us on social media. We're on all the major social media platforms, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and of course, the newest one, TikTok. All right, I'm going to switch over to my web browser. All right, now first, I just want to show you our social justice suite registration. Here you can see I've gone to the HeinOnline website, and you can see that we are looking at the social justice suite registration page. All I did to get here, the easiest thing that you can do is just go into Google and search HeinOnline social justice suite. It'll be the first result that you see. It will bring you to this page. You can see we give you some information about what the social justice suite is. You can go in and learn more about the 5 different databases that we have within this suite. It gives you a bit of a history of how we created this social justice suite and how it came about. Of course, we have a short YouTube video that you can look at to learn a little bit more about it. And as we scroll down, here is the social justice suite registration page. So please feel free to register your institution if you have not yet gained access to it. And it has always been free and always will be free for access. And we continue to update the information within this suite. So now let's go over to HeinOnline itself. If you're not familiar with HeinOnline, what we're looking at here is what we call our welcome screen. So this is where you can see all the different databases that you may have access to within your HeinOnline either subscription or the free access that you have within the social justice suite. What we're looking at right now is what we call our HeinOnline Academic Global Package, which many different schools have access to. And within it, we also have the social justice suite is baked into here, and we also have the a la carte immigration and law and policy. So first, you can see we'll talk about the social justice suite databases real quickly. We can see here the civil rights and social justice is here. We have our slavery in America and the world, gun rights and regulations, LGBTQ plus, and the Open Society Justice Initiative is right there. Sorry about that. So first, let's go into the immigration law and policy database. We'll talk about some of the different subheadings that are within the database. And I'm just going to go through this quickly because I know what you really want to see is the searching, but I just want to show you this quickly. What we've done recently, if you haven't seen this, is we're showing you how much content is within each one of these subheadings, just so you can quickly see. So overall, we have over 4,000 titles within this database. We have over 45 acts and legislative histories, and then material covering law and policy, extraditions, hearings, congressional research service reports, Supreme Court briefs, and so on and so forth. So of course, we can browse by titles, authors, dates, subjects, and the list goes on and on. This is a huge collection, and it of course focuses specifically on immigration law and policy. Now, when you're using HeinOnline, you are most likely going to be searching across all the materials that you have access to. And what the beautiful thing about HeinOnline is that we have a one-box search, which allows you to search across everything that you have access to in one shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm jumping back to our main databases, because what this will allow me to do is use that one box search to search across all the material I have access to within this particular login. So if you're not familiar with our one box search, it allows you to search by text, citation, author. You can look up publication titles. The list is vast. So what I'm going to do here is I'll do the topic du jour, right? So we'll do forced migration. Now, what I see here is as it jumps up, you can see it's saying just search for. That means that I want to search within the text of all the material that I have access to. If I wanted to search by a particular author name, particular section title, so that would be an article title or a note title, I would use select title. Citation is going to look for the specific citation of a section. So in this case, it wouldn't be 2 words most of the time. And then catalog is going to search for the publication title. So if there was a particular book or a journal that made, or a report that had the terms forced migration within it, that's what the catalog would look for. But in this case, we're going to just search for the terms forced migration. And what you can see here is we have over 6,400 results. Coming up, we have forced migration and security, introducing forced migration in Europe, what is forced migration, and so on. So you can see there's a broad range of material specific to this topic. Now, obviously, 6,400 results is quite a bit of material. We can always refine those results as we use our facets that run down the left-hand side of the screen here. We can select the most recent dates. So you can see, obviously, from 2016 to date is actually one of the most dense date periods that we have that covers this topic. It's a topic that's been very relevant in the past 6 to 7 years. But if we wanted to go back, you can see it's been a discussion going back 100 years or more. Obviously, as we were talking about the immigration law and policy database, we can see here, if we want to see the material that's covering this topic within that database, we click that right here, and that would bring us up 223 results, obviously going to be more specific to the policy and such regarding that topic. Now, forced migration is a topic. How do I know if this material is good material? How do I know that it is something that I might want to latch onto? Well, here you can see on the right-hand side of the screen of these search results, we have what we call our scholar check results. So here, this is showing us that this particular article has been cited by one other article within HeinOnline, and it's been accessed 20 times over the past rolling 12 months. So since February of 2022, this article in particular has been accessed over 20 times. Now, right now, the way that it is sorting is by relevancy, because we search for forced migration. It's going to show us the most relevant material based on that search first. Maybe I'm most interested in that scholar check information. So what I can do is I can say, I want to see the most cited articles at the top. So if I select that option, it's going to move those up to the top. Now you can see here, there's a US Supreme Court case that's been cited over 9,000 times by articles, and over 2,500 times by cases within HeinOnline. And that is covering the topic of forced migration. And as we scroll down, you can see an International Court of Justice report and so on, the present immigration law, and so on. You can see as we move down, the number of cited times cited reduces as we scroll down. So another great way to find very interesting, relevant material quickly and efficiently regarding those topics that you're most interested in. I'm going to hit back. I'm going to jump back to our databases once again. And this time I'm going to jump into our journals database because I want to show you our Pathfinder search subjects and what we can do with those. Because obviously forced migration is going to be, it could be discussed in a wide variety of articles that maybe it's only discussed at one point within the article, and the article is talking about a wide variety of different subjects. Well, this is where we can really hone in on the subject that a particular article is covering by using our Pathfinder search. What our Pathfinder subjects do is we subject code every single article that's available in HeinOnline. We give every single article at least one Pathfinder subject. And you can see here, these subjects are there's a hierarchy of the subjects. We have applied sciences, humanities, industries, natural and formal sciences, and of course, social sciences. I'm going to close up these ones because this is not where immigration is found. But you can see here under social sciences, we have a topic called immigration studies. And if I open that up, you can see Within here, we have citizenship, deportation, immigrants, migrant workers, undocumented workers, immigration law, and repatriation. I'm going to click on immigration studies, so that higher level topic, and you can see by clicking on that, it's produced every single article within HeinOnline that has the term immigration studies within it. Now, that's produced 45,000 articles. That's quite a bit, right? But what we can do is we can narrow that search now within that subset of results. We can say, okay, these are the articles that are specifically covering immigration studies. Now I want to find specific top text within those articles to really hone and focus the search results that I receive. So if you can see here where it says modify the search, or we can do search within these results. So let's say I want to search within those results. And I can look for, let's look for the term Civil War. And I'm going to hit that button. Hit that search button. And now you can see what we have done is we're looking for the term Civil War, but within the context of articles that have the topic of immigration studies. So you can see now we are looking at the political thought of Civil War, prosecution, in the fog of war, covering immigration law, granting asylum and protection from deportation to Civil War refugees. And you can see this is covering human rights, refugees, and so on. So this is another way that you can further limit and focus that search area that you're most interested in. So let's talk about some more search features. These are just basic text searches, but let's show you how you can use some of our different search features that we offer to really suss out and find these important topics. I'm going to jump into the advanced search here. And I'm going to show you our Venn diagram search. You may have seen this before, but this can be a really interesting way of pulling out information. I'm going to put in refugee crisis and, of course, forced migration and Civil War. And what the Venn diagram search does is it's running simultaneously 3 searches for us for each one of those topics that I search for: refugee crisis, forced migration, and Civil War. And it's produced the result of 454 articles that have all 3 of those topics discussed within them. And you can see that. We can scroll down. You can see them. This looks just like the search results that we were looking at previously. But the unique thing about the Venn diagram search is it also allows us to look at each one of those results individually and as a combined result. So, for example, right now we're looking at all 3 of these with 454 results. Now, if I'm interested in seeing just the results that I may receive for the term refugee crisis, I click that here. You can see down in the left-hand corner. I clicked on refugee crisis, and that's bumped up our results to over 5,500 results, looking at just the phrase refugee crisis. Again, if I click on Civil War, that's going to be a much larger result set at 126,000 results. And we can also see where maybe Civil War and forced migration overlap. So if we're looking at just those 2 data sets combined, we have just about 1,400, a little over 1,400 results. So what this allows us to see is, first of all, how big those data sets are comparative to one another. So obviously, within the HeinOnline articles, the discussion of the term Civil War is quite a bit larger than the discussions of forced migration and refugee crisis. And then combined, they are even smaller, right? Refugee crisis and Civil War. So, but what this allows you to do is you can see where these terms are being discussed together, separately, or adjacently to one another. Maybe not specific topics, but a topic that is related to those topics. Let's show you one more search example, a search feature that we have. I'm jumping back into the advanced search button. And this is this tool that I'm about to show you, our keyword search builder, is fantastic if you have maybe a student who is venturing into a new research area that maybe they're not most familiar with. Maybe you are attempting to do some research in an area that you're not most familiar with, but you really want to have ideas and search topics and thoughts that you believe could help you find material you're looking for. And this is our keyword search builder. Here we can go ahead and we can just toss in some thoughts, some ideas, some topics that we know are related to what we want to do research on. So here I'm going to put in environmental migration. And displacement and drought migration. Climate change. This is where now I can go in and say, you know what? I'm most interested in forced migration. You can see these are sliders. These blue balls are sliders. And I'm interested in climate change is interesting and important for me. Drought is something that's really causing quite a bit of migration, displacement, and environmental migration. I'm not even sure that that's relevant or a term, but let's submit it and see what we come up with. And what we've done using those sliders is we've provided a basis for our search engine to go in and say, you know what, these are the forced migration is the most important aspect of what my researcher, me, is attempting to perform. Climate change is related, but not as important, and so on and so forth. And what we've now done is we've kind of curated our own search set and what is most relevant to us. So here you can see climate change, human rights, and forced migration, implications for international law. Boom. It's totally on topic for the keywords that I put into that search result. And that's what I wanted to find. Now, the absolute last search feature I want to share with you is something we call more like this. So let's say that I am a researcher and I just happen upon this particular article. It is absolutely what I want to find research on. It covers my topic perfectly, but I need more articles that are relevant and related and similar to this article. That's where the button more like this comes in. If I click on more like this, it's going to, in real time, examine this article covering climate change and forced migration. And it's going to, using the text relevancy and artificial intelligence, it's going to find me other articles that are similar and related to that same article. Now you may see here it operates in a similar manner as our keyword search, but where I put in my own terms for the keyword search, in this case, the search engine itself pulled out these terms, set these weights, and ran the search all on its own. Obviously, I didn't put in sustainable development. I didn't put in HTTP or human rights. But as I go down, you can see here, international law on climate change adaptation. Has the time come for a new protocol? Preventing climate change and induced displacement in Bangladesh through strengthening adaptation strategies, advancing the Paris Agreement on climate change for sustainable development, climate change adaptation, and so on. So you can see, I specifically was interested in a climate change article covering migration and forced migration and so on. And you can see that using more like this, it has on its own produced results that are relevant to what I was looking for. So those are some of the main search features, some of the ideas, some of the ways that you can go in and find different topics covering immigration, forced migration, and the related fields that are resulting in forced migration around the world. I'd like to share with you quickly some of the support features that we have in HeinOnline. You are always welcome to use. Of course, you can see here it says email us. This is our chat feature. Our chat feature is not currently on right now, but you can always email us 24 hours a day. If you happen to use HeinOnline and that it may say chat with us, if you click at that, someone will jump in right immediately and answer any questions you may have about using HeinOnline, whether or not we have materials, publications, topics that you are most interested in. Then, of course, under our help button, we have our LibGuides and our blog. I discussed with you at the beginning of this presentation, our LibGuides. They're here for you to use. Please use them. If we jump down here, you can see many of the different databases that we have in HeinOnline are available. If I scroll down, for example, here's immigration law and policy. If I click on that, it's going to jump up. It's going to show us the about page. We have a YouTube video discussing this particular database. Browse the database, search tips and tricks, additional resources, and so on. And then our blog, of course, we put a lot of effort and work into our blog, and we recommend that you take a look at it. We talk about different topics relevant to current events, historical events, histories, new material that we've added to HeinOnline, new search features. It runs the gamut. If you're interested in what we're doing here, how we're improving the database every day, please take a look at our blog. You won't be disappointed, I promise you that. So with that being said, I believe that we covered everything. I just wanted to reiterate, if you're interested in our social justice suite, please make sure you go and find that and register. I thank you again for attending today's webinar. When we finish the webinar, just as a reminder, there will be a short four-question survey just to get your ideas and your thoughts and opinions on this particular webinar and what we can do in the future. So we welcome your input and thoughts on that. Steve, did we have any questions that we need to cover?
Nope, I'm in the process of answering the questions, and then there's no additional questions.
Excellent, excellent. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. We're just about out of time today, so I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you next month at the next HeinOnline webinar. Have a great day.